Hello, welcome back. This is video number 6. I'm Jean. Welcome to my home. And we're going to say a little bit of bye-bye, scram to loneliness for a few minutes while we're here, chat and collage. Now, if you were here for video number 5, we were working on this collage. And I have glue stick down most of the items on it. And I was also telling you the story about the trip I took to Europe with a new friend, Patty, who I met from a friend I worked with. And how we were in Nice, the south of France, had gone over to Monaco, were hosted by the friends of parents of hers, in a real fancy place, and they took us back to Nice. And from Nice, where do we go? Did we fly back up to Paris? Oh no, from Nice, we took a train into northern Italy, and such a difference. Nice, all very French, and the flower market that they had every week, and everything just so. And we go into Italy, of course it's a whole other language, and there's clothes hanging between the buildings. And it's just a whole different country that you could get to in less than 45 minutes. And then we did end up in Paris for the end of our trip. And we, of course, went to the Louvre, and we went to Notre Dame, and we're just walking everywhere. And on, I think it was almost our last day, we were on the boulevard, the Champs-Élysées or something like that. I can't remember now. It's hard to come up. This story just occurred to me this morning as something I could tell. And so we had been walking up and down and looking at all the shops, and we decided to sit down and relax for a minute and have a glass of wine and a baguette. And we were sitting there, and all of a sudden, and maybe it was about 6 at night, all of a sudden, or 7, a wall is the only way I can describe it. A wall of people came walking onto the boulevard from the Arc de Triomphe. A wall of people. Well, France had won the World Cup. That's the big soccer game. I didn't even know they were playing it. And they had won. So the mobs of people that were in the arena stadium had come to celebrate. And they were everywhere, mobs and mobs. And this one guy sat down with us because he was asking if he could join us. He needed to sit down for a minute. And we chatted with him. We were on that boulevard until 3 a.m. because that mob of people just chased all the cars off the road, all the taxis, everything. So at 3 a.m., I saw a taxi. We were inside a diner. I saw a taxi. I said, Patty, I'm going to run out and get that taxi. And I bammed on the back of the taxi. And he stopped, and I called Patty to come out. We got in the taxi and got back to our hotel. That was pretty exciting. And the next day, we were walking around, and Patty saw a store that had posters. And it had a poster of the World Cup and France winning. And she was smart enough to know to buy that. We also went up to Montmartre. You go up the hill, and there were all these artists along the circle painting and doing their drawings all outside. Just like you hear about, artists, plein air, painting. And I bought one. I bought a little one this size, and I still have it. And that was exciting. So now let me take you down to the collage part of the video and show you what I did with the one we started on collage number 5. Okay. So I'm starting to get the hang of this a little better. So I have the background of the arch, and then I used another calendar picture that had water, and I cut that bottom part off, so I have water and desert area. And I found this girl in an advertisement for something, so I thought, well, that's fun. She can be skiing. And up here is like, I don't know what that circle is supposed to be, but I put a picture of my cat in it. And then this came from a catalog that comes in the mail. I got this Indian girl. And then I thought I was going to put this like water, like a lighthouse type restaurant up here, but I decided to put this woman riding the bike. I thought that was pretty cool. And then I'm peeking out from behind the rocks, and then the dog's down here, and I cut out a couple of those fish. I had a picture that had a bunch of fish on it, so I cut out a bunch. 3. There's one little one over here. So I got everything glue stick down except for the little Indian woman, and put her there, and the skier. He's like the main element. And you can be cutting out images, you know, if you've already started a collage or you're not sure how to start. I just started by finding a card. I get these freebie cards in the mail. And then I started cutting out images from everything that has images. All the junk mail you get, and then all the little freebie magazines you can find at the coffee shop or even at the grocery store. And like I say, this woman on skis was from an advertisement. Because I like what you can, if this helps at all, and everyone has different styles. People like to do abstract. But I like to create a little world in my collage. And just like in our worlds we live in, there's people doing different things. Like here she is, she's skiing while there's someone up on the rock on their bicycle, right? And then there's a dog who had chased into the water to get his tennis ball because someone was playing catch with him. And then, you know, the parts that didn't get glue, you just add some extra glue there and on the hand. It's almost like she has gloves on or something. Well, I guess so. Skiing. Well, I live in Colorado, so this was probably from some little winter magazine from the coffee shop. And advertisement includes skiing because a lot of people here ski. I don't ski. I skied a little bit maybe years ago with some friends I came out here with. They were from Michigan, so they had been skiing since they were quite young, and they were very comfortable. I had maybe skied once in Pennsylvania, and it was not a good experience. So here is the collage we did. You can get some ideas from this collage, and I'm going to tip up the camera. And see if I can show it to you a little closer. The fish. So this will be like an 8x10 one. And I sign all my collages. I sign the originals, and I sign copies if I make copies. So if you have, and I take pictures of all of them. Who am I? Like a famous artist? What do I think? But if you have a color printer, or even a black and white picture or a printer, take a picture of your collages, get it onto a document, and then you can size it down to 5x7 and print it out. So if you don't want to send your originals, and I don't send my originals, very rarely does anyone get one of my originals. But you size it down to 5x7, print it out, and then you can, glue stick it to the front of one of the freebie cards. you know, like we did this in one of the previous ones. Now this is the original, but I have more Save the Children freebie cards. So I can make a copy of this and put it on another one of the freebie cards. So I think we did a pretty good job. There's action going on, the bicycling and the skiing and the woman singing and the fish are fishing and the dog got his ball. So Patty and I had a great time on that trip. And I had to wait to get the pictures back. Oh, I lost my camera. I forgot. I don't know if I left it someplace, but I was so upset that I lost my camera and I didn't have any pictures of what happened on the boulevard when the wall of people came. Did I buy another camera? I might have, but no, I did. I bought another one of those little Instamatic kind because I got a picture of Patty and myself at that table and our little French guy who sat down with us. It's just great to travel if you can. And if you have grandchildren or great-grandchildren, nieces and nephews, neighbor, you know, friends who have kids, you know, if they can, if they're in their 20s, take a trip. Take a trip someplace. Try and encourage them. Tell them about your trip. I'll bet they'll be fascinated. Write something in the comments. If you want me to do this differently, if you need to see things better, I need all kinds of, you know, appreciative, gentle comments and suggestions are very much welcome. Bye, everybody. Bye. I'm so glad you came. See you next time.